We're here with cha0ticz from U5, getting ready for the Painkiller Tournament. First off, let's just talk about the Painkiller Tournament. What do you think of the tournament so far? What do you think of playing this now that you've been playing Doom 3 and Quake 3, obviously?
Well, it's actually a pretty good relief after playing Doom 3. It's a much faster game and it's much more my style. I'm having fun playing it, and I heard a lot of the flack that it was getting before it was picked for the World Tour, and then when it was picked for the World Tour, and the little problems that everyone that's just saying makes it a bad game, I just look right past, and I think it's really fun and it's really competitive, and there's some problems that if they get worked out, I think it could be one of the best games that we played in competition.
Looking at this tournament being one of the first major, well, it is the first major LAN tournament since they've announced it as a World Tour. A lot of influx of new players, pretty wide open.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I'm a new player myself, but we're at a disadvantage because it's been a couple months. But the good thing is that Doom 3 kind of broke up, the practice of everyone. So instead of having 4 straight months of being behind and having to try to make that up, there was a nice little break, and then everyone kind of came back into it. And then I think we've been able to catch up in the past 2 months. And maybe we're not quite there just yet, but by February, I think all the new guys are going to be seeing some great play.
Really want to get into the top 6 for this because of the World Tour. What do you think of the World Tour, and how is your thoughts on the whole, how it all shaping up?
It sounds great to me. I mean, definitely aim for top 6. That would make life a lot easier if I could just, get that trip secured. But it looks like it's going to be a great year. I can't wait.
And and one big reason, United 5's in the picture for you. Why did you choose them, and how is that all working out for you and going to the World Tour?
Well, they approached me and they said that they're going to offer me a chance to go to the World Tour, and I've been talking to some other people, but United 5 was obviously a great choice for me because they're secure in the community, and I knew that if I joined with them, whatever they offered me, they'd be able to deliver. And that was a big thing for me, was I didn't want to get burned, a week before the event and not have my tickets, or, not have this. So it was a great choice. I was happy to approach it.
A little bit of a strange choice, though, in terms of being a Counter-Strike team and not necessarily somebody who's into multi-gaming.
Yeah, no, it looks like they wanted the branch, and I'm happy they wanted to go with it.
Looking at yourself, you talked a little bit about practice and being, maybe a little bit behind, but how have you set up in practice for this tournament? We've heard a lot of people, say 8 hours you got to do. What is it like for a 1v1 player? What are you going to do? What do you do to get ready?
First thing, a brand new game. First things first is learn the weapons, then learn the maps, and learn the spawn points. And then that probably took me about 3 weeks, I think, to get solid with how to play the game. And then I moved on to strategy, and that's what I've been working on. So I've been trying to play as many guys as I can, trying to play the top guys, because getting beat by 30, 40 points, it helps, because you get to see what are they doing, and then you can mimic, and then you can throw your own style into it. So I've been trying to play as many guys as possible, and then just recently I've been doing LAN practice.
Well, speaking of the guns and all that kind of stuff, did you look at demos to do that, or did you just really do it your own self? I've got a ton of experience with DM stuff, but it's tough to say. I got into the game and I shot around. Demos always help, but I like to bring my own style to it. I don't want to mimic the way other people play it. Speaking of your own style, and I have to ask this for, even myself, I'm not totally up to date with, Painkiller, but if somebody wanted to watch a demo of you playing, what are they looking for? What should they look for when they watch a demo?
I think just see the routes you're taking, and it's still a new game. There's really not that much strategy into it just yet. People are now branching and trying to throw some different spawn rapage into it and that type of stuff, but just kind of seeing how good are they controlling the items, and then how good are they able to spawn rate. That's the whole game right there.
So keeping an eye out for those kind of things are going to allow somebody to be very able to get into the game and understand it.
Yeah, definitely. The first things first is when you get a kill, you should know, what do I want to do at this point? And once you're at that point, then you can branch out and say, okay, now we're at a stalemate. What kind of trick am I going to throw? What kind of trap? But first things first is you have to know how to control the map. So learn that.
And watching those players play like that, and obviously I bet you've seen some of the demos from the Godfrag tournament. Who do you think are the people to watch out for here?
Well, the Godfrag tournament was mostly Americans. Yeah. So I've tried to watch some of the Europeans, but they're holding their demos pretty well.
Yeah.
So but the Godfrag tournament showed that Jelosak is on top of his game. Lexer is a new guy, and he was playing pretty well.
Yeah, Quake 3 fame, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, and yeah, he definitely stepped up. Daler is a great player. I've been playing with him, and he's really good.
Doom 3 did pretty well at that, and he seems to be pretty well at changing games.
Yeah, he's talented. So.
And in looking at the old hats, I guess, from this, it's tough to say that, but the people who won the last CPL, look at Fatality and Vu. What do you think of those guys coming back?
They're in an advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to expect from them myself, so I'm going to try to watch them as early as possible and try to maybe get some routes taken. And when I play them, just have a good idea of what they're going to do, because they do have the experience, and that's going to hinder me a little bit. But hopefully, I can keep it close, and then at the end, make a nice move.
How do you think the tournament's going to shape up for you? Do you think you can place top 6? Where do you think you're going to finish?
It's moment to moment. Sometimes I'm thinking, I'm top 3.
Confidence level.
And
here.
then you get beat pretty bad, and it's square one all over again.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll get 16. I don't know. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good though. I think I'm on top of my game, and I think if I get a little luck with the seedings and get some good draws, I might be able to edge out that top 6.
I think a lot of people are going to watch in the Painkiller tournament, especially the World Tour puts a lot of emphasis, but also just because there's so many good names, and I look forward to seeing you guys play in a lot of those teams. It's going to be interesting. I mean, players, excuse me. So I appreciate the interview. Anything you want to shout out here at the end?
I just wanted to say thank you to United 5, because they have been nothing but great, and they put themselves out there with me. I had never really played Painkiller yet, but they just took my previous experience, and they've been very supportive. I'm happy to be part of it.
I got one last question though. You said previous experience. How do you think players have done switching over? Who's been the most successful from what games? Do you think?
I think the guys from Quake 3 have a really good jump. Actually, the ones that played CPMA in Quake 3 specifically, if they played CPMA, they understand how to play a fast game, and how movement plays into that, and how to break the movement, and then that type of stuff. So anyone that played CPMA that's in the tournament right now, Vu, cha0ticz, Daler, myself, I think that really is going to help us out.
What do you think about some of the other people coming from other games? Maybe more of like the Halo, Counter-Strike people.
I think it's a very fast game, and I think that
it's harder for them.
It's definitely, I think it's got to be a shock of how fast they're going to have to think on their feet and that type of stuff. But some of the guys they picked it up. They're obviously talented gamers, so I think it's anyone's game.
Interesting, yeah, okay. I appreciate it, and thank you. Good luck in the tournament. I look forward to seeing how you play. Always been rooting for you since QuakeCon. Very good job.
Thank you.